They lied to you. They told you that you are free. They told you that you're living your life on your terms, that you have choices, that you are in control. But deep down, you know it's not true. Look at yourself right now. Look at the way you wake up every single morning with an alarm you didn't choose, rushing to a job you secretly hate, forced to smile at people you don't respect, spending most of your life making someone else rich. That is not freedom. That is slavery with a prettier name, and the worst part, you've accepted it. You've convinced yourself that it's normal. You've convinced yourself that this is how life is supposed to be. Bills, debt, exhaustion, waiting for the weekend, begging for a vacation just to taste a moment of relief from the prison you built for yourself. You think you are free because there are no chains around your wrists, but the chains are around your mind, around your time, around your future. You are still a slave, but here's the difference between you and the men and women who rise above. They recognize their chains and they decide to break them. From the moment you were born, the system began writing your destiny for you. They told you to go to school, not because it was going to make you free, but because it was going to make you obedient. You were trained to sit still, take orders, raise your hand for permission, memorize facts you will never use, and accept the authority of people you didn't choose. That was not education, that was programming. The system is designed to build workers, not leaders. It doesn't want you to think, it doesn't want you to create, it doesn't want you to chase freedom. It wants you to be another gear in the machine. And so you grow up believing that if you follow the rules, if you get good grades, if you graduate, if you get a degree, then somehow your life will be secure. You enter the workplace believing you are free because you are getting a paycheck, but what you really are is an employee who is exchanging his hours for pennies while someone else becomes rich off your back. Look at your life right now. You work 40 to 60 hours a week, answering to a boss you probably don't respect, spending years of your existence making another person's dream come true. You're promised promotions, pensions, retirement at 65. But by the time you get there, your youth is gone, your health is gone, and all you have left is the regret of having sold your best years to a system that never cared about you. They don't care about your dreams, they don't care about your family, they don't care about your freedom. All they care about is your obedience, and you've been obedient your whole life. They gave you debt to chain you down. Student loans, mortgages, credit cards, all traps to keep you working for the rest of your life. They take your taxes before you even see your paycheck. You don't even own your money. You don't own your time. You don't even own your future. The illusion is that you are free because you can choose what to buy, what to watch, what to scroll through on your phone. But in reality, you are a slave whose mind and energy are being drained every single day. You are told that the system will take care of you, but the truth is the system was built to take from you. And the harshest truth of all is this: you have accepted it. You convince yourself that this is normal, that this is how life is supposed to be. You laugh about being broke. You joke about hating Mondays. You count down the days to the weekend like a prisoner counting the days to his release. But unlike the prisoner, you never get released because the system does not let go of its slaves. It keeps you just alive enough to keep working, just entertained enough to keep quiet, just hopeful enough to keep waiting for a future that never comes. And until you wake up and admit it, until you stand up and fight against it, you will remain exactly what they made you, a slave to the system. The reason most people never escape their chains is not because they lack intelligence, not because opportunities don't exist, but because they are addicted to comfort. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition. It is the drug that keeps you weak, lazy, and ordinary while convincing you that you're doing just fine. Comfort is the reason you hit snooze instead of rising early. Comfort is the reason you binge on food, waste hours scrolling on your phone, and justify it with the lie that you're taking a break. Comfort is the reason you skip the gym, avoid hard work, and stay in jobs and relationships that drain you because change feels too painful. And so day after day, you surrender your potential for the cheap, temporary high of comfort. Comfort has convinced you that suffering is bad, but suffering is the currency of freedom. Every man who has ever built power, wealth, and influence walked through fire to earn it. They starved, they sweated, they sacrificed, they endured loneliness, rejection, and pain. While you hide under the blanket of comfort, the strong ones are out there sharpening their weapons, building their skills, creating opportunities, and becoming unstoppable. Comfort tells you to wait for the right time, but the right time never comes. Comfort whispers you deserve to rest, but you haven't earned anything yet. Comfort lies to you every day, and you keep believing it because the truth is too painful. You're soft, you're weak, and you're not willing to pay the price for freedom. The world does not reward comfort seekers. It rewards warriors. It rewards the man who wakes up when he doesn't want to, who grinds when nobody is watching, who embraces discomfort until it becomes his strength. Discipline is forged in the fire of discomfort. Resilience is built in moments where quitting feels easier. Every second you run from discomfort, you reinforce your chains, and every second you endure it, you sharpen your blade. Think about it. Every time you avoided pain, what did you get? Nothing. You stayed the same, but every time you suffered through something difficult, you came out stronger, sharper, more confident. Growth only exists in the uncomfortable, and yet you keep running from the very thing that could save you. That's why you are not free. That's why you are still stuck where you are. You are not a victim of society alone. You are a victim of your addiction to ease. You've chosen the couch over the grind, the distraction over the mission, the comfort of excuses over the pain of discipline. And so long as you choose comfort, you are not free. You are a willing slave. The chains of comfort are invisible, but they are stronger than steel. They don't bind your hands, they bind your spirit. They make you satisfied with mediocrity. They make you waste your only life. And until you rip yourself out of the grip of comfort and embrace the storm of discipline, you will remain exactly what you've always been, a slave, begging for freedom while refusing to pay the price. Fear has become your master, and you obey it every single day without even realizing it. You hide behind excuses. You hesitate when opportunities come. You silence your own voice because you're terrified of how others might judge you. Fear dictates your choices, and every time you bow to it, you reinforce the chains around your life. You dream of success, but you're afraid to fail. You dream of respect, but you're afraid to be mocked. You dream of wealth, but you're afraid to take risks. So instead, you do nothing. You sit in silence, watching others take the leaps you were too scared to take, and then you wonder why they are free while you remain trapped. Fear is not real. It is a story your mind tells you to keep you safe, but safe is just another word for stuck. Safe is just another word for powerless. Safe is just another word for slave. Look back at every major moment of growth in your life. Every time you accomplished something meaningful, it was on the other side of fear. Fear was there before your first fight, your first business move, your first public step into the unknown. But when you faced it, when you acted despite it, that's when you grew, and yet you've forgotten. You've allowed fear to paralyze you once again, convincing yourself that the pain of failing would be worse than the pain of never trying. But the truth is the opposite. The pain of regret will burn you for a lifetime, far deeper than any failure ever could. Failure is not the enemy, fear is. Failure teaches you, fear enslaves you. Failure makes you stronger, fear makes you weaker. Failure gives you wisdom, fear robs you of experience. And while you avoid failure because of fear, you also avoid the very lessons and strength that could free you. The people you look up to, the ones who seem untouchable, powerful, and free, they are not fearless. They are just people who refuse to let fear control them. They feel it and move forward anyway. That's why they win, and that's why you lose. Every time you let fear decide, you hand over more of your life. Fear tells you not to start, and you listen. Fear tells you to stay quiet, and you obey. Fear tells you to wait for the perfect moment, and you wait while your life burns away. And here you are, years later, still stuck in the same place, still dreaming the same dreams, still whispering one day to yourself. That one day will never come. Fear has you exactly where it wants you, paralyzed, obedient, enslaved. But here is the truth you need to hear. Fear is not going anywhere. It will always exist. The difference between the slave and the free man is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward in spite of it. Freedom begins the moment you stop obeying fear. The moment you act while your heart is pounding. The moment you step forward when your knees are shaking. The moment you choose courage over comfort. That is the moment the chains start to break. Until then, you are not free, you are still a slave. The hardest truth to swallow is this. You are not only a slave to the system, to comfort, and to fear. You are a slave to yourself. You are chained by your own habits, your own weakness, your own lack of control. No government, no corporation, no boss is holding you down as much as you are holding yourself down. You are your own worst master. Think about it. Who forces you to waste hours scrolling through nonsense on your phone? Who forces you to skip the gym and eat junk that makes you weaker? Who forces you to procrastinate on your goals, to break your promises, to quit when life gets tough? Nobody. You do it to yourself. And then you cry about being stuck, about not having opportunities, about being trapped, when the prison guard is you. You want freedom, but you're addicted to the things that steal it from you. You want health, but you're addicted to laziness. You want wealth, but you're addicted to wasting time. You want respect, but you're addicted to excuses. You want to be powerful, but you're addicted to weakness. You sabotage your own potential every single day, and then you look for someone else to blame. But there is no one else. It's you. Every time you hit snooze, you bow to yourself. Every time you quit early, you bow to yourself. Every time you give into temptation, you bow to yourself. You are a slave to your cravings, to your emotions, to your impulses. You are chained to your own undisciplined mind. A man who cannot control himself cannot control anything. That is the brutal truth. If you can't control when you wake up, if you can't control what you put in your body, if you can't control how you spend your time, then don't talk about freedom. Don't talk about success. Don't talk about building a future, because all of that requires one thing: mastery over yourself. And right now, you are not the master. You are the slave. You serve your laziness. You serve your distractions. You serve your weaknesses. The world belongs to the disciplined. The world belongs to the ones who command themselves to do what must be done, even when they don't feel like it. Discipline is the highest form of freedom, because once you own yourself, nobody else can own you. The man who conquers himself cannot be controlled by the system, cannot be destroyed by fear, cannot be tempted by comfort. He is unshakable, unstoppable, free, but the man who cannot conquer himself will always bow, whether it's to money, to addiction, to distraction, or to his own weakness. Look at your life and be honest. Are you your own master, or are you your own slave? Every chain on your body right now is one you put there with your choices, and every chain can be broken the moment you decide to take control. But that decision must come from within, because nobody else can save you. Until you conquer yourself, you will never be free. You will remain exactly what you are right now, a slave to yourself. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes he cannot keep living as a slave. He looks at the years he has wasted, the chances he ignored, the weakness he tolerated in himself, and he feels the weight of regret pressing down on his chest. That moment can either destroy him or ignite him. Breaking the chains starts the day you decide you will not accept this reality anymore. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel easier. It starts now. Because every second you stay the same is another second stolen from you, another day wasted, another chain locked tighter around your life. You have one chance at this existence, and if you waste it living on your knees, you will die with nothing but regret. Breaking the chains begins with responsibility. You must stop blaming the system, blaming your parents, blaming your boss, blaming society. Yes, the system is built to trap you, but it cannot own you without your permission. Yes, life is unfair, but crying about it will not free you. Freedom is not given, it is taken, and it is taken by men who are willing to accept that their life is their fault, that their situation is their creation, that their future is their responsibility alone. When you accept that brutal truth, you also accept your power, because if it's your fault, it means it's also within your control to change. The next step is discipline. Nothing changes without it. You cannot break chains with weakness. You cannot break chains with excuses. You cannot break chains with laziness. The only weapon strong enough is discipline, the decision to do what is required no matter how you feel. Discipline will wake you up when you're tired, push you when you're exhausted, keep you grinding when everyone else has given up. Discipline is what separates the free from the enslaved. You must also embrace discomfort. Breaking chains is not pleasant. It is war. It will hurt. You will bleed. You will fail. You will be mocked. People will call you crazy for rejecting the life they accepted. But every cut, every scar, every sleepless night will be worth it, because each one brings you closer to freedom. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your ally. Pain is the proof that you are alive, that you are growing, that you are fighting for something greater than survival. And finally, you must never stop. Chains don't break with one strike. They shatter after thousands of blows. You will want to quit, but quitting only reforges the chains stronger than before. So you fight every day, every hour, every moment. You fight until one day you wake up and realize you are no longer bowing to the system, no longer addicted to comfort, no longer paralyzed by fear, no longer enslaved by your own weakness. You stand tall, you breathe deeply, and you know that you are finally free. That is the reward for those who break the chains. A life lived on their terms, powerful, respected, unstoppable. So now you stand at the edge of a choice, the most important choice of your life. You've seen the truth. You felt it in your chest while hearing these words. Deep down you know it. You are not free. You are still a slave to the system, a slave to comfort, a slave to fear, a slave to yourself. And if you walk out of here today ignoring that truth, then nothing will ever change for you. You will go back to your routines, back to your distractions, back to your quiet misery, and the chains will remain exactly where they are. But if you choose differently, if you make the decision to fight, then everything changes. Freedom is not given, it is taken. And it is taken by men and women who rise when others stay down, who act when others hesitate, who sacrifice when others indulge. Freedom is taken by the ones who look fear in the eye and step forward anyway, who spit on comfort and embrace pain, who stop bowing to weakness and demand more from themselves every single day. This life is short. Every hour you waste will never return. Every year you spend as a slave is gone forever. But as long as you breathe, as long as your heart still beats, you still have a chance to fight back. You still have the chance to rewrite your story. You still have the chance to live as a free human being, not a chained one. So stand up, decide now, tear off the chains, no matter how heavy they feel. Fight for your freedom with everything you have, because the world belongs to the free, not the enslaved. And the time to be free is not tomorrow, the time is now.